maybe this isn't as big a mountain as we thought we were going to have to climb. We're going to look at tying out the new 941s to our W-2 and W-3. We had a 941 for the first quarter, which was just like years before. Then we had the 941 for the new family leave and sick leave program. So in doing that, now we've got to go and take these 941s and get them over to the W-3 and tie them out to the W-2.
If you do a lot of W-2s or you're just doing your own, either way, you want to make sure that your 4 quarters of 941s match your W-2, because the IRS and the Social Security Administration is going to tie this out, and you may get a notice if they don't match. So this year it's going to be a little more difficult than it has in the past. 941s have added lines to them, but your W-3 hasn't. It is the same. So let's go through all of our boxes and take a look at how you're going to reconcile it, where they're going to go.
So real quick, Debbie, make sure I heard the 4 you want to tie out to the W-2, but we really have a kind of stop off with the W-3. So you're going to first show us how to tie out the 4 941s with the W-3.
Yes. So if you look on your 941, you've got line 2, your wages and tips. This number right here from all 4 quarters is going to tie out to box 1 of your W-3. So box 2 on your 941 goes to box 1 on your W-3. And then that's how it's always been. Then when you come on down, you've got on your 941, you're going to have new lines that weren't there in 2019. So now you have 5A, 5A1, and 5A3. This is where your qualified sick leave wages and your qualified family leave wages come into play. So all 3 of those you're going to take and you're going to put them in, combine them and put them into box 3 over on your W-3. So right here, your Social Security wages. There's not a separate box on your W-3 for those qualified sick leave wages or your qualified family leave wages.
So again, it's everything in this little red bracket that I've drawn here. We take those, even though they're new lines, because some of the 941s, the first month, or the first quarter, I should say, didn't have these lines.
Right.
So the thing about it is that all 3 of these then go into box 3 on my W-3. Okay.
So then your taxable Social Security tips, they're going to go where they always have, over here in box 7. And your Medicare wages, they're also going to go where they always have, which is box 5 on your W-3. So your main thing that you're dealing with here is those sick leave wages, and they're all combining into collapsing from 3 different boxes on your 941 to 1 box on your on your W-3.
So I think in what we do here in the office, Debbie, just to kind of to wrap this part of it before we look at the W-2, is that you kind of, most people have a spreadsheet, and so they have a spreadsheet of each quarter of the 941,
right.
And then you want to be sure those totals end up on the W-3.
Correct.
So this is 1 quarter, but in your spreadsheet
you're going to have all 4.
You're going to have all 4. And in that spreadsheet, in some of these quarters, you're not going to have 5A1 and 5A2.
Right.
Okay. So now I still have a question. Is there anything else I need to do, or any other difference I need to look at?
So as an employer, you have to tell your employee what they were paid in sick leave wages. And so we have some guidance on that, and we can put it into box 14 on the W-2 or on a separate statement. So either way, it's got to be told to them. So if you're going to put it into box 14, this is where it's at on the actual W-2. Or you can put it into a separate written statement, whatever you wish to do. They just need to know, because it affects their personal return if they work elsewhere or if they're self-employed.
Right. So what happens is, if I understand this correctly, Debbie, is that this information in box 14 required doesn't actually go on the W-3. It goes from my 941, which is, again, back to this box 5A1 and 5A2. Those numbers then end back up as a separately stated item in the W-2 in box 14.
Yeah.
But on the W-3, they're not broken out separately.
Correct.
So maybe this isn't as big a mountain as we thought we were going to have to climb, because when we saw these changes, especially in the second quarter for all the 941 changes, we thought it'd be really different at the end of the year. And again, you might, if you want to, for those that want to look up the site, I think you have there where her source was on box 14 or other statement on the sick leave information. It's actually out, I believe, notice 2020-54. So if you just real quick, before we leave, in it, it gives you specific.
Very
it goes
specific.
into box 14, as Debbie has said here, and it comes from 5A1 and 5A2. Well, hope this video helps. Click the like there if you'd like to hear more of our information. We're going to be doing stuff on payroll. We're doing stuff on PPP, the EIDL. We're doing on the tax side. So again, hope this helps. Thank you and subscribe.
Have a great day.